Hey, I'm Jeff Straw. Welcome back to the channel. Today I've got 4 quick networking tips for you to round out my little networking series, so I hope you enjoy them. Let's get right into them after the intro. We're going to try and keep this video pretty short, pretty sweet. Tip number 1 is to utilize and curate your online presence. What I think is really important is that you find a way that best represents your brand in the social networking space, and most definitely with your own website. Think about your brand voice. What is the style of general communication that you're going to deliver online? Are you going to be very content heavy? Images, video, things like that? Are you going to be very written word heavy? Are you only going to be posting music? Like, think about these strategies and curate and hone this online presence. This isn't simply a social networking tip. What this does is it allows you that when you do reach out and when you do make contact with people in a networking capacity, they have a way to look you up online and they are impressed and they understand your brand. No matter which touch point they hit, if they hit your Twitter, they hit your Instagram, they're still going to understand what it is that you're about as a creator, as an artist, as a small business. Tip number 2, create and hone your elevator pitch. I talked a little bit in my last video about being intentional when you show up at conferences, and this goes along with that same kind of thinking, but your elevator pitch is your really short and concise way of explaining who you are and what you do within the industry that you're in. It can sneak in a little bit about your unique value proposal and what makes you different. Honestly, you can kind of have 2 of these. You can have one that is literally a sentence or 2, and then one where you can kind of explain in a little bit richer detail what it is that you're about. And the reason that you kind of have this rehearsed is that you can choose your words carefully, and once you get to the point of it's basically memorized, you know that in a very short and sweet sentence you can tell someone that you just met exactly what it is that you're all about. I'm a big fan of improvising, right? If you guys know me, you know I don't really like scripts. I don't like memorizing things. And so this one is tricky for me because it keeps evolving over time. I have a hard time deciding what it is should really be included in that elevator pitch, but basically the way mine stands right now is like this. Here goes. I'm a branding and product photographer who specializes in creating content for the music space and small businesses. That's one sentence, and it really encapsulates what I do as a photographer and branding expert. Dial it in, get it as short and sweet as you can. Now, if I have a longer conversation with somebody, I can talk to them about, I've been in the music business for 2 decades, and I jumped into creating content and the visual design piece, and I have plenty I can talk about why it is that I do what I do. But if someone really just quickly comes up to me and asks, hey, what do you do? I have that kind of locked and loaded that I can explain to someone in an instant. Tip number 3, think long term. These networking contacts that you're making today may not really develop into something useful for your career path for years. Sometimes you'll meet someone and that they are working on a project, and right away there's something that you can plug into and you're off to the races, and you're instantly working on a project together. That's fantastic. But to be frank, it doesn't happen all that often. And so when you think long term, you have the ability to sort of slow down a little bit and get to know someone. And I spoke a little bit about that in my last video as well, but bringing the humanity into networking. It's not all just about our art or just about our business. But that being said, even when their discussions are very business centric and business focused, when you think long term, you have the ability to not pressure people and to simply just follow up with someone, check in with them, see how things are going, see how their business is doing, see how you can provide some support, how you can provide some value along the way. To give you guys a quick example, I met Sean Holiday, one of the founders of Space Station, who is the brand manager for Peter McKinnon, who is my favorite YouTuber and photographer. And so I met him at VidSummit. I met Pete as well, but I met Sean Holiday at VidSummit, and real quickly we hit it off really well. And I knew that as a brand new creator in this space, I was not in any way ready to like work with Holiday, but I knew what an important and valuable kind of contact he was in this world. And plus, we just hit it off really well. We really liked each other. And so over the next 2 years, I just kept in touch with him. Instagram, text here and there, wish him a happy new year, that kind of stuff, right? And so 3 years later, when I saw him again at a conference, and I was a little closer to being ready, that relationship has started to bear fruit and started to pay off. And we're now in talks about working together. If I had pushed too soon on that relationship, it would have soured and it would have gone south. And instead, simply just letting it evolve over time, it's really now developed into like the thing I'm most excited about for 2022. Number 4, turn opportunities into business. I've spoken at a ton of music conferences over the course of my career, and the one I've done more than any is called Music Expo. It's run by my friend Loic, and it's started here in San Francisco, but I've spoken for him in Miami, I've spoken in Boston, he does one in Nashville. I speak at these conferences for free. It's a good chunk of time developing a proposal to participate. It's another good chunk of time to prepare a good looking presentation and a good slide deck, and really to make sure that I'm gonna kind of kill it when I go up there on stage, right? And so most of the time though, you get mobbed by people and you get a bunch of business cards after a conference, and that's it. In my experience, a lot of those leads tend to kind of fall apart. Part of that's on me. Now that I work for myself, I realize the massive opportunity that those take. And so I go into those presentations with the intention of creating work out of them. And I don't really pitch myself per se in my presentations, but I do show up like ready for engagement, ready for opportunities. And so what happened was one of the music expos, I met these 2 guys that were in a band. They hired me to do their photos for the band. Super exciting. We rented a cool spot in the East Bay. The band broke up. Bummer. End of the story, right? No. What happened was 2 of the band members joined forces with another few people and created a new band. It was already going sort of on the side anyways, but this is now their new main project. Well, now that band I've done 3 photo shoots for, a video project for, I helped them with their rebrand and their name and like the whole deal. Like I've worked with them so much, partly because they liked the experience of working with me the first time with the first band, but also because I showed up to this conference thinking I was going to turn this opportunity into business. The last piece is I've turned this into some corporate work as well, because one of the band members has a day job and offered me the opportunity to do some photo work, which turned into not just doing photo work, but doing a whole bunch of design work. Point being, your network is important. So important. That one conversation has led to, multiple gigs for me. And so I can't stress that enough. Turn those opportunities into business when you can. Now, that doesn't go against what I just said about thinking long term. Sometimes it takes a while for those opportunities to turn into business. But if you never go into these events or into these networking opportunities thinking that, everything will just kind of fade into the ether, and you'll be left without really any actionable and exciting results. So hopefully that helps. Utilize and curate your online presence, create and hone your elevator pitch, think long term, turn those opportunities into business. All right, I'm Jeff Straw. Hey, if you like this video, please do me a solid and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you get a little ding when I upload. I really appreciate you guys spending a few minutes of your day with me today. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.